This is Mike, NoStressMike.com. We need to talk. And what we're going to talk about is something kind of neat. It's funny. One thing, you know, you see all the stuff that's written on the screen there, but one of the things that's not mentioned on one of the things that I do, and I'm very good at it, and what it is I'm a problem solver. And it's funny because I never thought so much about it, and you would think I get into a lot of weird situations. A lot of things happen to me, and most of it I ask for. I mean, it's not like it's something strange that doesn't come out. I know I get myself in strange situations, and I've prepared to get to that situation. And that's what we talk about, being prepared and stuff like that. And I talk about the gold and silver, financial being prepared, and emotionally and physically, the hoi chi, and the spiritual. There's many things that you need to do to be prepared. And when you are totally prepared, then any problem that arises, you can figure out something to do to get through this situation. And if you haven't guessed it by now, I push myself. I get myself in all these weird situations, and then I have to come up with some kind of solution to get through whatever problem I get myself into. And that's why there's few things that scare me. Few things. And that's because I've been in so many different situations, and there for a while, I thought, boy, am I lucky I get through all this stuff. But it dawned on me that it's not luck. I've prepared. But one of the cool things is to be able to be a problem solver. I had somebody, I'm a travel companion. I had somebody say, well, what do you got to do to be a travel companion? Okay. And one of the things to do to be a problem solver is you have to know and understand you have a problem. I'll tell you, it is so funny that so many people live their lives and they don't even realize the kind of problems. A lot of times people say, well, man, this problem just come upon me. No, they don't. You've probably had a problem and it just came to a head. So a lot of times we don't deal with problems until they get to a point where we have to deal with them. That's one of the biggest differences in my life than a lot of people. I see problems coming ahead of time, and I prepare. And sometimes I don't have to deal with these problems, and sometimes I do. But when I do, it's not this is a problem. It's not like that. I know this problem was coming. I was hoping to avoid a lot of these problems, but sometimes you just can't avoid them. But I'm prepared for it, and I deal with it. So that's what I say. You have to understand and realize you have a problem before it gets way out of your hands. I have problems and I just deal with it and move on. And these problems aren't that hard to deal with, and the reason is I've prepared, I've got ready to deal with it. I knew this problem had a chance to develop. So I was ready for it when it comes. I talk about it in Three-Man Militia. We're covering all these different skills. You don't need them until you need them. And then once you need them, problem solved. So that's the way I live my life. We're back to the gold and silver. That's why any financial problems I really don't have any financial problems, because I got enough gold and silver set back that there's really no financial problem I can't handle. Now, because it's in gold and silver, it's not like I can just turn that gold and silver into financial whatever money I'm dealing with. I can't always just deal with it like that. But I know I've got what it takes to handle whatever problem it is. It just may not be immediate. And I make sure I don't get myself in a problem where I have these immediate problems, these immediate financial problems, okay? Because I know it's going to take me a little time to liquidate the gold into some kind of something so I can get to it wherever I'm at. And like I say, when you're on the side of the road and you got a breakdown, the gold and silver is not going to do you any good. And that's why you need to be prepared for that breakdown. Now, a lot of this I'm talking about because one of the problems that I just got through, I've been dating a policeman woman, and from Guatemala, and before I even got involved, I realized what kinds of problems I could expect. One thing, I say, she's 20-some years old, and so I knew jealousy was going to be one of the things that I was going to have to deal with, and it's been a factor, a big factor. Jealousy from young men, old men, young women, old women, kind of covers everybody. And really that's the way the problem was, the jealousy problem. It was, and I knew it was going to be a factor. I didn't realize it was going to be quite that bad, but it was a big factor. Now the trick was, it was. And so it's funny because that wasn't even the problem that brought us to the end. I learned so much from that relationship. One of the things is I knew the hormones had something to do with it all. I know that. I thought maybe you get so old you don't have the hormone problem. You do. And the funny thing is, not only it was a factor I had to deal with, trying to deal with it morally it's been a pain. And that's why I've had so many videos talking about that type of stuff here lately. I've been having to deal with a lot of it. And but the funny thing was, we came to the point, women, I found out, understand what the man's hormone stuff is. I didn't realize, because I've only had one woman, my wife, for 41 years, so I didn't really realize, and I took care of that problem when we got started. I told her, no headaches, no nothing when it comes to the sex. It's going to be the sex, so we're not going to be using sex as a weapon. And it was funny because with the young sweet thing, I couldn't believe she already knew how the hormone stuff worked, and she applied how do you call it? She applied using the hormone thing. She knew how to kick on my hormones and how to make me do things. The only problem is I am older, and not only I still work on hormones, my brain still works. It's not like when I was younger when the brain stopped working, it's just the hormones. So I realized it was a problem. When she started doing this kind of stuff, I started thinking, what's going on? The way she was acting and the way she was doing things, and what it was manipulating my hormones. So it was funny because we finally, I'm not going to go into all the detail, but like I say, when we finally got to that point where I realized how she was doing it and what she was doing it on purpose. It wasn't love games you play. It wasn't none of that. I mean, it was she knew what she was doing, and so then that was it. I told her that was no more, and everything stopped. So in other words, I realized this problem could exist. I didn't realize it was going to be put on that hard, and I had a solution for it, and no big deal. So, and that's something else that I noticed when you're older. It's easier to face the facts and the realities of life. So, and that's what's funny, because I had so many people thinking I was completely blind on what was going on. I knew I wanted to follow the story to the end, because I knew it was going to have to come to an end somewhere, and I didn't know where it was, and I didn't need to go all the way to the end of the book to realize what it was to put a stop to it. But that brought it to my attention. Problems. We have problems, and we wait till these problems get out of control, and then we want a quick, easy solution. That's what happens when you're not prepared. And you let things get out of control. You let a problem get worse than what the problem should be. And that would go in any factor. That's what I say, when you blindly follow anybody for any reason, you're going to come up with problems. And normally we wait till it gets really bad. And this is what's happening in the United States. The corruption and stuff is so bad, we've waited till it got so far out of hand, and that's why people think, they ask me, like, I got a solution to the out of control United States government. And then it's funny, I do, but it's not the quick, easy solution people was looking for. Three-man militia, taking personal responsibility over you, your area, your friends, your local community. What a novel idea. They don't think about that. Taking personal responsibility is that important, and you apply it to all aspects of your life. And I say, I left the States because I realized I couldn't do that much. I can't take personal responsibility over the whole United States. I can't. And and I realized I was so far ahead. I've already read the last part of the book, so I know where we're going with this. That's why I wasn't going to stay around and wait. I say, the sinking ship with the rats leaving. Okay. I left before the water started seeping in, because I knew this leak was preparing to happen. And I've made preparation for all this. And that's why I'm saying I'm prepared to even return to the States when y'all are ready. I know there's a problem. I know the solution. And I know it won't be easy. And I also know I don't have to convince everybody. It doesn't take many. Like I say, the great nation of the United States wasn't produced by 100% of the people. It only took a small percent. Really, I think it was about 3, maybe 4% of the population knew they had to get away from Britain. And they just didn't know how to do it. They worked on it and they worked on it to try to prepare for it. And they knew we were going to have these problems we have now. That's why we have the Constitution. So it's funny. We have what it takes to fix this problem. We just have to have the nerve to stand strong and realize we have a problem and be prepared to do what we have to do to get this problem taken care of. And I say that problem not only is at the national level, it's in our personal level. And they're all taken care of the same way. Taking personal responsibility and doing the morally right thing. It's not that hard. But you got to realize you have a problem. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.